that's what you're saying, is that it's gonna depend, and then it's gonna depend, which people don't like to hear,
Right.
because
Right.
it depends is not helpful. But again, going back to the systems approach, there's got to be generalities as to what everyone maybe should be doing. And one that I'll bring up now is: would you agree that in general, maybe people should eat less? Is this
Yes.
okay?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't think that this is a scientific argument that on a whole, the focus on food is far too great. And the idea that you're going to run out of energy giving nutrients and fall dead if you don't eat every 20 minutes is a difficult one for me. Now, personally, I do fasting, and I don't know that I've been doing it for many years, and I don't know that I do it. I don't know that there's ways I think the idea of eating less is probably good, and then
Yep.
playing with the fasting, what time of day works for you, and that kind of thing. But you would say generally eat less. Yes?
Yeah. And, I think so. This gets. Are you okay with a little bit of woo? Like
Oh,
this is completely unfounded scientifically, but
I'm
it
okay with woo as soon as someone goes, "Hey Trey, are you okay with this little bit of woo?" Because now
okay.
I'm like, oh, we understand each other. We understand that we're trying to push our brains to come up with concepts that will help people. We're not necessarily saying go drink this snake oil. So
Yes.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Woo out with me. Go
So
ahead.
here's some woo. I've noticed that when people find, if their diet is pretty nutritionally dense, it's mainly whole foods. It could be higher carb, it could be lower carb, whatever, but mainly whole foods, very nutritionally dense, adequate protein as kind of an anchor.
Yeah.
I noticed that people probably need 20% fewer calories than what a standard kind of like basal metabolic rate physical activity would really recommend. So a person that might, just for easy numbers, say that they, in theory, they need 2,000 calories a day, they might need 1,800 calories a day, and they'll motor along just fine
Mhm.
and actually do better. Their visceral adiposity will be low, their inflammation will be super low, their digestion is really good, their sleep is good. And I mechanistically, I don't know what's going on here other than I think that highly processed foods, we almost have to eat more calories because we're trying to hit some nutrient minimums. You know,
Okay.
we need a certain amount of magnesium and, on and on and on. But it seems like people kind of need more energy when the nutrient quality is low. And again, this is super woo and
Super not well. Hold on. Okay, so what you're saying is there might be internal mechanisms whereby if you're low on something, your body wants you to search out that something.
yeah.
And then the thing to play with in that regards is consciousness. And then people say, I need to eat more, I'm hungrier. And the idea of satiety with food, this is not completely woo-woo.
No, no, no.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So I don't want people to say, oh, they talk some shit. It's not, because look at pregnant women's another good example where you have a situation where if they're deficient in something, they would crave those somethings.
Yeah.
Right? Now, again, not RCT, but please continue because this is very interesting.
Yeah. And so it's I think as a baseline, and again, this gets squirrely because you start getting very high level athletes and they have super high motor output and they need 4,000, 5,000 calories a day. But again, I kind of see those outliers. It's kind of non-linearity. It's kind of, S curves, J curves, stuff like that. Like it just kind of falls down. But in this more medium of somebody that maybe is performance oriented, but they're maybe putting as much premium on quality of life, of health span as longevity, and they also want to be able to kick some ass along the way. So we're all of those things. Then it seems like what I've noticed when I'm running numbers on people, and I've worked with some other folks that good friends of mine. They run an outfit called Keto Gains. They've got thousands of people doing these really well formulated whole food based ketogenic diets. And it's kind of jaw dropping how low the calorie intake is on these folks, particularly when they're in like year 2, year 3, year 4, and their body has really adapted to this. They've really figured out what they need to do, and these people have great musculature, they have solid performance, and they're consistently eating less than what the standard calculators would suggest around that. So I do, and I'm not a fan of calorie restriction as a means towards longevity within the whole like mouse model and reduce your intake by
I
50%
have
and
a
all that
lot
type
of
of
problem
stuff.
with that. Let's okay, let you continue, but go ahead.
Yeah, I hate that scene. People terrified of protein and all that, but it is interesting that if we could eat in a way where we spontaneously reduce calorie intake by 10%, 20%, not only are we not overweight and potentially suffering all these metabolically driven diseases, I think that there is some other kind of physiological advantage there. Maybe just the advantage is that you're healthy, and that health is such a rare thing that we see these days that it seems kind of anomalous. But that's my woo piece for the Control Yourself podcast.